Well, that's the bait sorted. Out the supermarket, straight down to the fishery. Let's see if we can catch some of it. I'm down here at White Post Lakes. I've not fished this particular section of lake. I'm just going to have a walk around first, see if I can see any fish moving, because there's no point putting bait in. And I know this, I say there's no fish, but there's certainly fish in here. I'm looking for areas that might be muddied up, you know. Some match water. Looks a nice little float fishing spot there, so we're going to try these baits. I have to say those lilies look nice there. Right, I've just seen the lilies bump here. That's the fish banging. And there's a carp I can see down there going through the muddy water. Apparently they get silverfish in there as well, so with the baits I've got. Luncheon meat, always a good tester. Sweet corn, yes, certainly it's used in matches. Butter beans, Graeme. Ah, now they don't come out your nose. Butter beans and red hot favourite, baked beans. So do I fish here? It's starting to rain, as you can see. Little bits of mud. I've only got a few hours to fish. Going to give it about 3, maybe 4 hours and see if we can catch fish on all 4 baits. Going to take a walk around here. All match pegs here. You can see I'm just going to do the circle of this lake. Oh, there's mud. I don't know whether you see that stirred up just there. Now, of course, there could have been anglers here. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Fished here, thrown their bait in, and the fish have moved in to mop it up. There's one down there moving. Right, it's a big carp. Decent size. See if we can film it. There's another one just over there. And it's bubbling going on in the shadow line there. Well, some youngsters turned up. They're going in the other lake, so I'm going to stay away and keep over in this lake. A bit of peace and quiet. And look, it's a commercial match fishing lake. I know there's going to be fishing here. I'm just trying to see where a good spot to start would be. So I'm going to go, like a lot of guys of my age, close to where I've parked the car. Right, I'm back at the car. Before I go anywhere, I've got myself a bait container. You've got to check the rules on different fisheries. Some allow you to take tins on there. Unfortunately, people do throw lids and tins away, and that's dangerous because they're sharp and they take a long time to degrade, like 50 years they say. So it's just far easier to get, in this case, sweet corn we're going to start with, in a plastic container. I've only got the 1 can. I'm only going to loose feed sweet corn. It's very easy to pile a ground bait in because this is a match water, don't forget. It's heavily stocked. It's a commercial water. It's not a question of will you catch, but when they do matches here, it's how many will they catch. But I'm starting here with a good old-fashioned sweet corn. I'm leaving the juice in there just to keep it moist because it's fairly warm, the air today. The wind's down, so let's get some of this in and get cracking. Having seen some of the bubbling going on, I fear it's a one-rod deal. I'm going to be surprised if I don't get 50 pounds of fish in a couple of hours. Trouble is, I haven't had lunch yet. Now let's get this first fish out of the way. It's sad that even at my age, and even on a commercial water like this, where you sort of know you're going to catch, I'm still like, can't wait to get that line in the water. It's just, The other thing don't do, guys, put the juice on the side so that all the juice runs out the holes and goes up your shirt. I've got to get new AAA batteries for the brain because some of the things I do are just ridiculous. I'm walking quite fast, so I'm keen. I've seen a couple of real good fish in it. I thought they were like 2-pounders. No, I thought it was a match water, they'd be 2 or 3 pounds. No, I've seen some decent size going around. First thing, plumb the depth. I'm fishing with my good old antenna float there. It's been repaired because I've snapped it, but I've got some valve rubber tube in there, look, so I could still use it. It's all chip paint, it's terrible, isn't it? Locking shot either side, 1 micro shot there, and there is my plumb bob weight, which is at least 40-45 years old. So I have checked the depth. In here it's very, very shallow, and obviously the float will cock and will set, but you've got to do how can I describe it? Shallow it first so it is pulled under, and you keep sliding the float deeper and deeper until it sets right, and your bait is then on the bottom. I've already been out there. I'm going to check it again further over. It seems pretty shallow all the way across here, and there's a little bit of a ledge in there. It's carp coming up for leave, so I know I'm going to catch. Off this goes. In goes a very, very little pinch. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Because I saw bream, I'm going to go to the edge of those lilies there and just scatter a few bits of corn in there. I'm going to fish out there, maybe get a fish or two out there first, and then come back to this corner. Right, let's get going. No hand wipe rag, it's back in the car. You get all sticky, you can get sticky fingers with the sweet corn drying out. Hopefully folks, a one cast wonder. Sweet corn is a bait that's used by matchmen a lot, and general fishermen as well. Really good supermarket standby bait. We're using a single grain of sweet corn, size 12 hook, barbless. I'm not overfeeding, just enough. Just hopefully bring something into the swim. I feel fish coming straight away. If I get it straight back in the swim, about there. Float set, it's on the bottom. Where I cast further out, a carp actually came up looking for maybe a surface bait or something like that. Would be nice to try and catch, let's say a bream, something like that, because don't forget sweet corn, roach, bream, tench, carp, barbel, chub. This is why it's such a good and popular supermarket bait. Ordinarily, if I was going to the supermarket to buy it, I'd buy a Smith. Just watch the float while I'm talking to my friends on YouTube. God, that's me losing the match if I was in a match. I would buy a supermarket, and you can keep it frozen, or you know, tins you can leave in your shed or your garage, but once opened you can still freeze them. I don't honestly know whether there's roach and stuff in here. Let's settle straight away. Let's give them a while to try and find it. I've missed two. I wonder if they're roach. Now, obviously, if I pile ground bait in here, I would be away. I'm going to try one grain, single grain all the time. There's some decent carp moving. I've seen them moving over in the corners there. Corn should be sitting on the bottom now. I don't fish and I don't find slow sinking corn sort of that great. Maybe it's because I don't use it that much, I don't know. I'll be careful putting the rod down. I need to move over a tad. And if I don't catch out there, then I'm going to come in close, really close. God, this one came up to look at a leaf right by the float there. 3 in a row. Okay, assuming they are roach. Now what they could also be, folks, is what they call liners, where fish are bumping and they hit the line and pull the float under. I'm going to try a couple of grains of sweet corn. When you hook sweet corn, say on a 12, I try and pop it up over the eye of the hook so there's space for the second grain to go on, and then slide the other grain down on top, so I still got a hook point showing there. I wonder if those fish were liners, because as the float hit the water, oh, nearly, I got all twitchy then. I'm still missing them, guys. I think they're liners. I've left the float way up high, I haven't shotted it down low, so that I can see it with the camera and I can zoom in on it and pull it right down if I want to shot it down tight, so it's just a little pip. If I get really sensitive bites, on line bites, it goes up and down and doesn't pull right under. If it goes right under, it should be a fish. Right, I'm going to replumb the depth, come up a little bit shallower, and I'll get little tappy bites, which they might be roach. I'm going to go to the head cam, because up here I can keep both hands free and fish better. Pinch of corn out there. There's fish all over that. Come out, actually, they've come out from under the lilies, so you can see them trying to eat bits of leaf and stuff off there. So I guess previously could have been somebody here fishing floating crust or something. I think what possibly might be happening is that there's fish taking that corn as it sinks down, and my bait's on the bottom, but the fish might be just off the bottom cruising around intercepting it. Well, had to happen. I've got a fish on. It's obviously going to be a carp. Well, see how it's predominantly the species in here is going to be carp, and that was down the side of the lily bed there. I'm on the match rod, got the drag set. I'm on 6 pounds straight through. So given time, we should be able to show you one. Let's look a small mirror. So this lake, if anybody wants to bring, kids down here, beginners, it's a good one to practice on. Part of the Todber fishery complex. I say it's a match lake. It's going to have heavy stocking, so you should be able to get a bit of bent rod action, as I have. Here he comes. Easy. There we go. Fish about, I'm guessing about 4.5 pounds. Once they get going, fish like this absolutely will go on the rampage and give you action all the time. Right, I'll try another one by the lilies. If you put it there, there's a good chance of kicking it over. Keep it well back out the way, or where you can see it out there, where you're not going to kick it over. So that's all you need, just a little pinch out there. Give it a few seconds for that to sink. Same spot. Now they could be feeding on that while I'm doing this baiting up, so hopefully you see this go round, pop it over, that's how it's, and then this one will slide down, being as that's the soft side of the kernel, it should slide down. I've got another 5 or 6 like that, pop it out. That's a funny old day. Bit of rain. Right, so I'm in by the lilies. I'm just waiting for that float to slide under. So you can get visual aspects here for beginners. The lilies could be bumping and moving where they bump into the stems of the lilies. I'm watching the float at the same time. You get bubbles come up where they're digging around at the bottom. Missed it. Feeding. You can get obviously surface movement, or you can get what I call it mudding, where they stir the bottom up. Let's try a single. The mudding ones obviously tell you that they are actually on the bottom feeding. Oh man, that was a fast bite. So sweet corn, a well-known bait. Supermarket, I would say cheap as chips, but that's another bait, chips. If you're a beginner, it is a very good bait. Wind's going to come up now, which is annoying. I'm just waiting there for that float to go. Has 2 grains on there. And there we go. Well, if we get this one in, I think it's time to move on, and we'll try a bit of luncheon meat. Look at him going for those lilies. Look, 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 look. Oh, come out in the open. Get out in the open. Here he comes. Off. He just pulled off. Didn't break, just pulled off. And because he came off, that means I've got to have another cast, doesn't it? Don't be afraid to just bump that once or twice. The other thing I can do, I've got a little small shot to take it to the bottom. I might take that off so it actually sinks and rests down slower. You remember I said about those fish being liners? Well, there you go. That is the sign of the fish banging around, digging around, not finding the bait, giving you what they call a false bite. Float goes under, you strike, and you might come back with a scale on the hook. So at least you know they're in the swim. And that's what some of those bites were. I wonder why I was missing them. That's because they weren't actually taking the bait. They were bumping into the line, moving the float, giving you a false bite. And there we go, we're on again with the float. So I'm going to get this fish in. It's on the edge of the lilies, nothing out in front. I'll get this one in, and then we'll get the luncheon meat cut up. Go away, Mr. Wasp. As if I've got sweet corn all over my fingers. A small common carp this time. Well, before I start on the luncheon meat, I'm going to have my huge gargantuan roll here, because otherwise I'm going to eat some of the luncheon meat. Well, this was baked with the loving, tender care of a blacksmith, I think. You could put this on an anvil and hammer it. Pate, liver pate, and sandwich bread. And a filly. Now here's something, people. I've been back to the car, got the luncheon meat. I drained all that sticky juice off the sweet corn down here. Now, I've been fishing over 60 years. Even I'm impressed with this. There is no bait in there, it is just juice. Even I've learnt something there, people. Now then, Matchman must know this. I don't know. I have mashed it all up before with the juice, and I normally put that juice in my ground bait. Okay, so I know to use the juice out of the tins. But that was neat juice. There was nothing in it. No ground bait, no particles, no nothing. And they're down there. It must be the taste. It's flavour in the water. I don't know. So should I be liquidizing the sweet corn and making a paste of it, that type of thing, so it dissipates in the water better, the juice, the sweetness, which is sticky all over my fingers, which is bringing the wasps around. Smith, get that can of spray. Right, I've now got the next one. Chunk of luncheon meat. I've purposely taken it out of the tin, Some fisheries allow you, some don't, but you know, it is safer in the tin because people do tend to throw tins in bushes. It's not good. I'm one of those that takes it home with me. I'm going to slice it up into little cubes. I'm so impressed with that sweet corn juice, I can't tell you. Now you can cut this into whatever size cubes you want, big ones, small ones, if you're going for roach, whatever. Luncheon meat is a good bait, barbel, tench, small bits, roach, everything eats it, everything. Even pike, we even had pike on it. Quite expensive, I suppose. It used to be a cheap bait, but we all know the old one, spam. If you have spam fritters, they're fried. They're very nice too. That's a sort of after the World War II, I think it was. The popularity of spam fritters was at its height. You can buy machines now that will cut this up and cube it all up. I'm just doing this because we've got to catch a couple of fish on it just to show you. So there you go, people, look. That's half a block and I've got absolutely loads of cubes there, about the size of your little fingernail there. I'm going to scatter some of these in loose, fish a single one on the hook, and I've got this down as at least as good as sweet corn. In occasions for bigger carp, catfish, tench, I think it is actually might be better. Obviously this is more expensive to start loose feeding, whereas a sweet corn is a cheap feed bait and a good hook bait. This is maybe a touch better hook bait. It's soft, it won't cast as far. Sweet corn will cast a decent way on the hook because it's a hard sort of seed, if you like, but the meat is soft, so you can let it go crusty in the sun, let it dry up a bit. But I would say this is a close to medium range fishing bait, brilliant for barbel. Let's get it on the hook and get it out there. All right, there's my cube of meat. Let's get it on the hook. Possibly a little bit big for a size 12. I'm sure it won't matter in here. And all I do, you want it sort of a little bit shorter from the length from the eye to the bend, so you can push it through. Now what I do is I don't go through the middle. You can put it through the middle, right? Just push it, bring it out, twist it and tap it into the meat. That's the standard way of doing it. I like to do it so that it comes out. I'm going to put it through again. Might do it. I'll throw that one away. Those carp are still digging around there. If you can see, this just a third of the way across, that makes sense, so that when I bring the hook out and turn it, I do this barbel fishing, chub fishing on the rivers, the point's clear. Right, I'm going to fish just down there in that shadow line, purely close so you guys can see it. And there's no bait. It's not like, oh, you already baited that, Graeme. No, that's the sweet corn swim. This is going to be called the meat corner. Now, if you're margin fishing, another thing you can do, look, you can actually, bit messy, I know it's messy, you can mush it all up like this. This is just for throwing in if you're float fishing really close. You know, like roach and stuff like that. Roach, rudd, bits and pieces, just break it and crumble it up. You get about 4 sort of mashed up bits, and they'll sink down if they ever get to the bottom. They'll sink down slowly. Put a bit of smell of fat and everything in the water there, just like this. Hope you're seeing that. Just breaking it all up, just going over there, about there. Must remember to wipe my hands each time, because I've now gone from being covered in sweet corn juice to sticky sweet corn to slimy fat. They're on it already. See the swell and you see the mud. This should not take long. There's the float. I'll keep my head as still as I can. There's actually a fish under that. He's probably going to bump the line. Missed him. Now that again, I think, is the liners. They're on that so fast, that meat, that the chances of getting a foul hook fish are quite high. It must happen all the time, match fishing. There we go, we're out there. And we're, oh, that was not a foul hook fish, that just pinged out. This is why I'm saying, certainly for bigger fish, a piece of meat is the way to go. Yes, we all know sweet corn. You can push what we used to call stringer pearls, which was about 10 sweet corn slid up the line. Look at the wasps coming, they love it. Meat and sweet corn. I'm just a sitting target here. I must have an X on my forehead or something. Missed it. The only thing is, sometimes when you bump it, the meat will come off. So you see I'm going bang, 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 meat all the time. Look at these fish moving. All these fish are moving for the juice that I drained out the can. No ground bait, no nothing. I know you guys are going to see that float. They're banging it all the time now. We shall connect in a minute, don't worry. Fear not. As I say, it is a small. Well, what I'll do is I'll break that in half and make that the right size for the hook. Normally, if I had those cubes, I would be fishing a much bigger hook. I've gone around a tangle time now. I want to do this while I can, and then I'm going to change swims because the wind's blowing right to left. That's going to drag any float through. They might not actually physically like it moving. Look at that one. It came up to look for a leaf or something. Just waiting and waiting. Oh, look at the mud around my float. You guys won't see. I've got polarizing glasses on, but you probably won't see the stirred up mud there. The float's doing this, so they're round there stirring it up. Do you know what, in a minute I'm going to have to drop a bait down here because they're just after that juice like you wouldn't believe. Right, I've plumbed the depth again, gone a bit deeper, so it's definitely on the bottom. Out goes the meat, in goes the float, and away to vents. You might just be able to see the float just off to the left of the... Oh, talk about delayed action. They've actually sent me a telegram, that bite. Push it through, twist it. It's quite quick to V-bait, but you are, every time you bump the float, it's going to be off. A bit like fishing bread, really. Oh, that was on the drop, folks. That piece of meat didn't even get to the bottom. Well, that was in a different swim. It's not over there where I had the sweet corn swim going. It's right out here. I purposely made a different area to bait up. Well, bait up, I've just thrown loose feed and I haven't baited up. Here we go, it's a nice pretty mirror. Let's see if we can get a couple more on the meat and then we're going to change bait again. Well, I'm standing up because I want to get with the meat almost straight away. Common carp this time. A chunky fat common there, guys. One more on the meat and I think we'll change swims. Might get a bit of wind in the mic now and then as the breeze picks up. I'm very lucky really, nobody around me at all. God, I heard that one. When it's breezy like this, try and sink your line, as we've mentioned before, so it doesn't drag out position quite as quickly. Or you use a degreaser on the line to make it sink below the ripples and the breeze. I'm going to probably, there we go, that's the meat done and the corn done. I'm going to go right down the other end so there's no, oh, you're baited up the same swim and the fish are already feeding in there. I'm going to go somewhere totally different. Let's get this one if we can. Right round the side, guys. I'm going to ping off first and I'll show them to you when I've got you. There you go, a nice regular scrapping size mirror on a match rod. Couldn't ask for better than that. I'm going to go right down the other end of this lake now and we're going to try baked beans. Right, back to the car. Now, I don't know, I should tell you boys about this. The most secret bait known to man. Forget who makes it, they're expensive. Beans in tomato sauce. But I've got to prep them first before I use them. They're all cooked, but I want to get the juice off. Obviously, I would suggest using the cheapest beans you can get. I'll be perfectly honest, you don't need a top brand one. Just make me feel hungry now. And I'll wash these out generally, peel the paper off, and me and Mike use them for shooting, target practicing, what they call plinking. So, going to whiz this down the lake, rinse it out, and you'll see what they look like when they're rinsed off. Well, hard to believe, I was just walking my gear right down the other end of the lake, and where I rinsed the juice off there, I'm seeing ripples, concentric ripples coming out. That wouldn't surprise me if those carp have come in there just on the juice alone. Oh great, the stump pilot, there you go. That's exactly where I drained that bean juice off. All coloured up, all muddied up. There's no beans in there, just juice. Well, water, just diluted water. Like this, you can see. It's all diluted. Put the lid on, just pop it on. And then, because it's a mega container, it's got all the holes there, you see, so the water, let's get it in there, it'll drain off there, and hopefully you don't lose the beans. I just pulse it like that. For some reason it tends to get the water out better. Right, here are, yeah, the beans all washed off, a little bit of juice in there. You can see there, I'll put them in the sun, you can see them better there. It's clean, scoured if you like. In they go. You don't get a huge amount in the tin, I suppose, pretty much the same as a sweet corn. But the thing is, these beans, baked beans, look, I just squeeze them, look how soft they are. Now you can also get a pinch of them. Obviously if I was fishing with them as I normally would be, I'd have 3 or 4 as the cheapest cans I can buy. Mush them all up, and in they go. As for the smaller fish as well. Right, let's go on the hook, plumb the depth, and see what we're at. Just here so you know, I'm right down the opposite end of the lake, and to see if it works, I've actually come away from the main swims by the side of this really nice lily bed. So, baked beans like these are all very uniform, very similar to sweet corn but much softer, and you just hook them, rolling it around the hook. They are not for distance fishing, they are for really sort of margin fishing, just float fishing like this. And good for other smaller fish, rudd, bream, roach. But of course once the carp move in here, it's predominantly carp, they will bury the float and you're away. My main thing is I'm going to have to get away from the lilies here. So I've come here because it's a sort of neutral swim, got the advantage of the lilies as a feature, the disadvantage of the fish hooks and barrels in the right. So I'm hoping to get it around that way. There's a knock on the float. And I've got it sticking right out so that we can possibly pick it up with this camera. Big jet just gone over. Now, I'll put a very, very small shot down by the bean itself so that it gets it to the bottom and just rests on the lake bed there. If I keep dead still, you might be able to see the float just off here. That sounds like some horrific military jet going through up there. Got one while I was trying to take the head cam off my head of a double bean. There we go, a small mirror carp, almost a pound of pinch of salt. It is one that's never been caught on a baked bean before. That's a sort of PB for this carp. He can go back and tell all his mates he's got a first. I've just been caught on a baked bean. Well, see if I can get another one. A few more to go in. There's one cruising there, look. I wonder if that will stop him and he'll go down. Well, the sun's baking down, the wind's gone off a little bit, but still you can see where I was, it's rippling. So I think I've done the right thing coming to this end. Give him a few more beans and follow that up with a float. Kind of surprised there's not been any bream in there. This is, I told you, probably the premier secret bait, and I don't want you telling anybody about this at all. Baked beans, rinsed off, washed, fished in the margins. I'm gonna have to go around here for this one. Oh, he's off. Got the camera in my mouth, I thought we get that one. I'm fairly sure they're noshing their way through these beans quite quickly. Be nice to have a roach or a bream is what I was going to talk about. Ooh. See the speed with which I'm starting to get bites now. I think it's because they're soft. Probably be good pole fishing. Straight on it then. Oh, I missed him again. Oh, now here you go. As it happens, a line bite. There's the scale. No way around it. It's just the way what happens when fish feed in earnest. I'm using a single bream. I'm using a single bean. Just rolled round the hook. On the bend, there's even one coming up there looking. It should be on the bottom about now. Wow, I wonder what that was. That was the float was sliding away like that. It is just a sort of margin fishing bait, but once they get on it, They really do like it. You just hopefully see that single there. You might be able to see the float. I'm not sure with this camera, probably not. There's fish moving all around there. See how the float goes like that? Very strange. Looks like it's a bream type sliding bite. I'm just going to ease it back into there. There, you just see I've got two on there then. And there we go. That didn't take long, did it? I'm going to net him over there so it doesn't disturb a swim. Right. Yeah, I think you'll agree the beans, baked beans are good. I'll click off till I get him in the net. So there we go. Nice little mirror carp. Let's get him back. And we're going to try the other beans now. Well guys, absolutely no question in my mind the speed of the bites I'm getting. I've got to move because I haven't got enough beans. So beans, without a shadow of a doubt, get the faster bites. They come off easier, quicker. But once you get the fish feeding on them, because they're so soft, they must go nuts. They're going schizo on it at the moment. I'm going to try now the last one, the last supermarket. I think one of the top baits. Butter beans, yes. They're bigger. I'm going to find another swim and we'll see if we can pick, well, one or two fish off from them. Reload. The last one, forget the name. Butter beans in water. You can eat these straight out there for salads as well. I suppose I ought to really drain this juice out in the water. There we go. Oh look, he's got there's one down that has come straight up for the juice. Well, well, well. Now, bigger hook for these because they're a bigger bait. And being a bigger bait, obviously, yes, there's less of them. As you can see, you can cut those in half or you can use them whole. So I'll probably go to a size 10 hook. Marvellous. They're actually coming in for the bean juice. Hard to believe, folks. Even for me, the juice is obviously not worth just throwing away. You should put that juice in your ground bait. Normally I would do. Right, I've got my baits. Let's chuck a few in there. I'm under the tree. Might take a bit longer for a bite there. But these are for really margin fishing for bigger fish. I'll be very surprised if those three skins up there don't get eaten by carp coming up looking, thinking they're floaters. I mean, it looks superb, well, they don't look absolutely magnificent, but a big bank of black cloud there. And I'm due to go on overnight carping. That's really why I'm making this film. I'm doing an overnight carp when I can't get on the lake at the moment because it's full of day ticket people. So I'm going to wait for some of those to pack up, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock. Hopefully I can get my bivvy rigged up before this lot comes in. Hopefully it's not raining. Well, I've seen so many bits of mud come up down here where I've tipped that juice and I'm going to drop a bean down there. It looks huge. I'm sure they'll find it. By the look of it. That's butter beans for you. Slightly bigger carp too. Well, that's what you call a fat butterball of a carp on butter beans. Black clouds are coming. I'm going to see if I can get one or two more. Bean boy number 2's on. There you go, boys, a nice common carp, about £5. That was on half a bean. I'll show you what I put on. As I say, a couple of ways of doing it. You can get the beans like this, crumble them all up into bits and pieces, just basically crush them up into a mush. Again, look, this is soft bait, it's a bean, and I'm just going by the margins here because that juice went in there and I did see them going nuts for it. Or just get yourself a pair of scissors and cut one butter bean in half like that. So I mean, look, you only got 3 butter beans. I've got 6 baits, and that's still, for like a size 10 hook, something like that, is a decent size bait. I just go through it, don't have to bury it. The carp just moved there. As the actress said to the bishop, this won't take very long. I'm just going to lower it down while I put that loose stuff. Got barely any memory card left on this, but we might get lucky. If we don't, you've seen it. 2 different types of beans. Baked beans, butter beans, luncheon meat, sweet corn. You judge for yourself. I know the baked beans are the faster bite ones. Butter beans, yeah, pretty average, you know, I'd say. With they're good. A big whole one of those old butter beans with a decent sized hook in the margins, float fishing, just flicked out, a link ledge or something like that, will get you some decent sized carp. Do not worry about it. You might need 3 or 4 tins to get them going onto that, but it's a soft bait. It's all that just crushes up, just breaks up. I'm due a bite. Right, I'm nearly done. One more fish and I think that would be it. I'll try one over there. I think you got the gist of it. Let's try one over the back. I can see sort of swirls under the water there. I don't know if you guys can see the float there, probably not. And you've got to allow, when you shot the float down, for the weight of something like a bean, because it will just sink the float otherwise, which is doing now. Half beans at the moment. Of course, when you return a fish, all his friends down there go, "Where's you been? Where's you been? Ain't seen you for a while. Where's you been?" That float is just pulled down. I could go a little bit deeper, but oh, it's about a week late on that one. We're on. How close is that, people? And that's where I poured a lot of the bean juice out. So we get this one in. That'll be me off to set up for my night trip now, an all-nighter. Before that, I fear rain comes in. Hopefully I can find a swim. But I've had a good bit of sport here, or perhaps not, which means yes, I've got to stay a bit longer. Back on again in the margins. Feels like a bigger fish. That'd be nice to close out with a sort of 6-pounder. I fear not, because it's a match water, but you never know. Oh, he's digging and digging, this one. It's either fouled or it's a bigger fish. The way he's dragging line off me, I should think he's fouled. Gone, yeah. Pinged off. A quick lift from Mr. Crazy Common, and we're done, and he's going back. Well, there you go. You can see you can have a bit of fun with some supermarket baits. It's all an experiment. Of course, you can use regular stuff. Look, just go into your local tackle shop and see their shelves are full of the different flavours, colourings, sizes, shapes, everything. It's a sort of, well, it's not really a minefield out there, because if you blew it all up and it went in the water, I expect the fish will eat everything anyway. It's all about having a bit of fun while you're fishing. When you go in the supermarkets, check it out, have a look around, see if you can find something a bit different, have a bit of fun, see if you can catch a fish on something different. And now it's over to Grant at Grant's Tackle Up. He's going to run through some clothing for you that might give you some ideas for the winter. I really hate the winter. I don't like it. I could go really fast forward straight to about middle of March, April, maybe middle of March, catch the end of the river season. Anyway, check that out, and of course, don't forget to check out TA Official if you want to think, it's getting that time, it's getting hoodie time, I hate it. I wear this in the house sometimes. Anyway, let's go see what Grant has to say.
Hi guys, getting a bit cold out there. Graham's been coming in saying he's cold and he's got more and more layers on, and as I've told him in the past, best thing to keep you warm is one of these. Might look a bit snazzy for some of you guys who enjoy your carp fishing, and some of my mates did exactly the same, and I said, look, get past being a fashion ego and wear one of these, because when the wind blows it does not come through this. So that with a jacket over the top, you'd be sweating. They are really lovely and warm.
They are.
And I'm sure.
And they've got them up the sleeves. They've got it up the sleeves, which is a godsend.
Okay. So the biggest thing that gets you cold when you're fishing is the wind. Yeah. So trying to get out the wind is important. So obviously covering your head, your hands. So hats, but not just a hat. You want a lined hat.
Oh, that's a good
with
idea.
With a lined hat, doesn't necessarily have to be that heavy flock, but like a lower flock fleece, so it's the wind blowing through. So when the wind blows, obviously it's cooling your head. That, when the wind blows, it won't go through it, so it keeps your head warm. Permanently. Same with that. That's another one by Heat Holders.
So they're sort of thermal ones, really.
That's it.
Well, they are thick, aren't they?
Yeah. So as I say, there's various. I've just grabbed a couple off the shelf. So there's one by Heat Holders and there's one by Fox. So this is just a hat and glove firm.
Yeah.
Do socks and that as well. And that's your Fox Rage Pro one.
So they all do them different companies.
Yeah, all different colours. If you like different styles and that. I say gloves. Depends what you like in gloves. Obviously, do thicker, thinsulate, paddy gloves.
Yeah.
But for me, fisherman, angler, you want something neoprene that the water doesn't go through if you get your hands wet. So it keeps them warm. I wouldn't say they're the warmest of gloves, but you can't function with a big heavy glove on fishing. It just doesn't work. So
doesn't go together, does it?
No. So these ones also got the extra option. You can pull out the tab. You can see they're flock lined as well.
Ah, yes, that's a good idea.
If I show you the inside, you should be able to see the inside. So they have got some more warmth than just a pair neoprene. Okay, so it helps with the wind and stuff blowing.
What's the little dots on them for? Are they for gripping anything?
No, so these are for sticking back the fingers when you put your fingers out the inside. Yes, if I show.
So it's like a sort of mitten in a way, like the old school mittens. You used to have a fingerless mittens.
That's it, so.
I see. So you can put maggots on or hooks, small hooks and stuff like that.
So you can stick them back on the Velcro so they stay out the way.
I see,
use your 4 fingers and thumb basically.
I mean, who thinks easy ideas up there? It must be fishermen.
Simple, but yeah, definitely. But nice and easy. Nice because I can bend my hands. I can move to wind, hold a rod wind. When you have them big, thick gloves, they're warm. But if you've got nothing else to do with your hands, that's fine. But if you're using your hands, it's hard work.
It's like the old fingerless mittens. I used to be fine, but then your fingers still get cold. Which that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's the flock line. So that's just a bare neoprene version. So no lining. But if your hands are getting wet, they do stay warm in neoprene. Hence the reason the wetsuit. That's why they're wearing it. Couple of socks of stock. Ski Tex, North Pole thermal socks. Really comfortable, not silly money. do them at £12.50.
And what are they have a sort of lining as well?
A little bit, they're not too much, but I like these, so I'd wear my normal socks and put them on as an over sock.
Oh, I see, you do two pairs.
Yeah, so it's just quite a nice, but you can wear them on their own, but I've always usually thrown me with wellies and chuck them on as a welly sock as well, so you can put it over your other ones. So
what material they made of? Kind of sort of polyester, wool and stuff?
One, yeah, whereas these ones are the merino wool ones, so they're much warmer. Got a thicker line.
That's a merino sheep, isn't it?
That's it. So you've got padded heel and toe.
Oh, that's it.
And you're better if I show you the
Of course, they come way up the calf.
That's it, way up the calf, so it keeps your leg warm as well. So you see, nice and warm. So it's important for me. I find in fishing, for staying warm, I don't look like a Michelin man all blown up and can't move. Yeah. Smaller layers, little layers you can take off when you get hot and cold. So the worst thing is sweating when you're hot and you've sat there all day, as you'll know. The sun drops, it gets cooler, and then you feel cold because you're wet underneath.
You're damp underneath,
which is important. When you can, take your jackets off and just have a bit of an air in and put them back on.
And with those merinos, let's talk. I mean, this is just getting cold weather. It gets really cold. People are out in the frost. Check out the old neoprene Wellingtons to be warmer,
neoprene wellies. So what we do now is called a hot boot. So it's like let's say like a croc material.
Yeah.
So it's like a rubbery sort of foam. They've got a lining as well, but they're good for -40.
Oh, Christ.
So I'll show you some. Ski-Tex do them. I've got a couple of different versions. Dry Walkers, I think they're called the other ones. So they're all made in Poland. So any of them you see is a lightweight hot boot. They're all at the same factory with different names. And
we just reband them or something. Them.
So, but they're very good. They range between £30 and £50. So
to keep your
feet warm, not ridiculous. But you have to bear in mind they don't have a sole like a rubber sole.
Yes.
They have this foam sole like a croc. So I would say get to where you're fishing and then you stick them on.
I see, yes.
Yeah, so I would be dubious whether it'd be a big spike or something could go for them, possibly. I don't know, but I sell lots of them. They're really comfortable. People absolutely love them, and they're nice and light. They don't weigh a thing on your feet. So.
Oh, brilliant.
All right, so then I've picked out a couple of other clothing for just so. I do a mixture in here of shooting and fishing clothing. So I've just grabbed a little couple of bits we've come upstairs.
Because most shooting is through the winter, isn't it? Really, pheasants and stuff. It starts
August through till February generally, a lot of the pheasant shooting and stuff. So this is just a fleece gilet that we sell. We do lots of them. I do just a navy blue and I also do a green, as you can tell they're quite thick.
Yeah.
But again, as I say, layers, you generally find if you wore that with that over the top, you ain't getting cold, and then if you need a waterproof, you can put a waterproof over the top
of the lot,
and you'd still be very warm. Okay, so they're just a couple of the little items. I've obviously got fishing gilets, that padded ones, so they're nice as well. But again, when it's really cold, you might want to have something with the sleeves, stop the wind.
Yes,
or you patch it out with something like that.
If you haven't used these guys, the arms, if you get to my age, those fleeces up the arms are a godsend.
Well, another one we do. So these have been really popular, not expensive, but so they've just got like a nylon lining, they're padded on the inside, so just as a cheap cheerful put over, I think these ones run at about 25 quid, just under that.
And they're quite
nice quality, popper buttons.
Pockets,
Generally find when it's cool, it's nice to have something, if it's damp morning, they're quite nice to have on. So layers of fleeces, we do a lot of this stuff. So this is Heart Clothing, which is a shooting brand. So it's just a thin fleece, but you layer it up with other stuff.
Yes.
So this is a windproof fleece, so the wind doesn't come through it either. Yeah. So, and then if you get really cold, I should have brought up salopettes. So we do salopettes and that. I'll show you another version. This is what we call a foil-lined jacket. It's got titanium foil lining, which retains heat and obviously keeps you warm. So it's on your back. You see that?
It's like bulletproof.
And I believe, so the foil titanium line is just on your back to pull the heat in. These are all padded, but that keeps you warm.
That's a good idea, and it reflect body heat back to you.
Back to you. So it basically just keeps your heat inside you. So I do these padded and non-padded. Yeah. Highly waterproof. I think they're 10,000 hydrostate. They might be more than that actually.
That's the padded one, isn't it?
That is the padded one, but very, very good quality.
Yeah, that looks nice.
So you can get matching salopettes, trousers, get sets. So on this one you've got
hood as well,
You've got a hooded top as well if you want to use that.
And a padded hood as well,
yeah.
It's not padded, is it?
Lined as well. Whereas obviously a lot of waterproof is just a waterproof. Another good suit we've done lots of. Mainly the sea guys buy this, but there's no reason you couldn't wear it down the river. Yeah. Obviously being red, people like the sea fishing. This is a padded jacket and trousers for £115, which I think is very good quality. very waterproof. I've had a few match guys buying it as well because they're half the price of the match suits.
Nice big high collar sometimes in the wind, you just want that, yeah.
Get up round your neck, stop them getting cold. I'll say that's...
It's going to do most winter conditions in the UK, isn't it?
Well, something I do like is everything with pull toggles in places.
Yes.
So you can pull it to suit you, so the wind isn't going up your back and stuff like that. So with that you also get the padded salopettes as well, which is highly waterproof, but just warmth. I was never a fan of wearing these guys. I used to argue and moan, think I feel like the Michelin man, I'm not wearing them. As I've got a bit older, I've switched from wearing jeans when you go fishing. Wear jogging bottoms, guys, under salopettes. You'll just sit there and feel the warmth coming out your legs.
Mike's always told me, Dad, you're cold with jeans, mate. Just change the trousers.
And I've worn jeans for years, and it was probably only the last 5 years I started wearing trackies going fishing. What a difference. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, jeans do get cold, don't they?
Very cold. So that's a couple of the selection do for warmth. Also I do these ones as well. Highly waterproof, you sit out in these all day. Salopettes and trousers, but the range jumps up in price. You go from 115 a suit to 300.
Well, that's good because that gives people an idea, not just beach fishing, boat fishing.
Yeah, a bit of everything. Outdoor walking,
just outdoors.
So so just wrap up warm. The thing is layers. If you can keep the wind out, the rain off you, there's not such bad thing as bad weather. It's called bad clothing, I'd say. I
appreciate it, Grant. Thank you very much. That should give you some idea of what clothing to buy and what keeps you warm through the winter. Fingers crossed, it stays mild. Don't like that white stuff too much, or the Sub-Zeros. Concrete, lakes, no. I find the bait bounces off. Freezing ice, don't like it. Anyway, thanks for watching this programme. Fingers crossed, get another one up for you next week. I don't know what to put up. I've got to go through the forest and have a look. I haven't done a lot of fishing myself, I have to be honest, guys. The weather's been a bit grim and there's other issues going on, so I really haven't been able to get out there. So, thanks for watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Hit that subscribe button if you feel so inclined, like buttons, notification bells, all that stuff. Fingers crossed, we'll be with you for next Friday, 7 PM. Have a good week, guys.